my photography shopping live stream. This week I'm doing a couple extra because it is Prime Week. Started on Tuesday, which I normally do my shopping streams, and it's going to go until tomorrow. So tomorrow I have my photo editing stream, so I may do a live stream for shopping again later for some last minute deals. But each day I'm trying to find a different area to kind of focus on. Today, I wanted to focus a little bit on outdoor type things because a lot of us, we do photography outdoors. And particularly this year, there's been sort of a huge uptick in the number of people reporting in for ticks. Um, so I put a lot of things on my deal page to offer some protection for that. So I have several things in my cart right now to that effect, and I'll talk a little bit about those. And also, some batteries and some other little things. And if there's anything you guys are looking for, we can go online, shop together, and I can help you pick some of the better deals and or better quality items depending on your budget. And on my deal page, I have a link. It's my affiliate link, so I will earn a commission on any of your purchases. And as many of you know now, I am running my streams this month with no ads, so I'm going to rely completely on your support through my affiliate links. And today we'll be focusing primarily on Amazon products because it is Prime Week. And I actually, sorry I started a few minutes late today. I usually do anyway, but I got a package in. Um, uh, so new camera day. So I'll share that with you. We'll do a little unboxing. And the other thing is, um, I'm switching cameras today to a little bit wider field of view. I set this up quick last night, and then I didn't get a chance to swap back to my regular camera. I'm experimenting a little bit with this webcam. It's not actually webcam. It's my Instago 3 or whatever. So the quality is really poor, at least on me. But we don't care about that, right? As long as you can hear me and see the products we're talking about, those should be pretty clear. Uh, but I wanted a wider field of view because when I was showing the backpacks and things yesterday, it was hard to see anything. So that's why I went with this wider field of view type camera, even though the quality is poor. I did order a new webcam. That should be in next week. That should be higher quality. It's another Insta360 product, but and then that has panning and everything. So when I'm showing products and things, especially tripods and larger items, I can kind of move around the room here and demonstrate how it works and explain why I'm recommending this product. So with that said, let me just go through my initial list, and then I'll go to the chat section to answer any questions. I did see one from Robert. How you doing, Robert? Good to see everyone. For the diffuser. So I did add a couple of things real quick for that, but I need to know a little bit more about what you're using the diffuser for before I can make a recommendation. So if it's for like doing close-up and macro photography, that's a totally different kind of diffuser than say going to do event photography, say versus doing portrait photography or any other kind of photography, on and on and on. So the kind of diffuser I'd recommend is going to be based on that. So if you can give me a little more information. Okay, so diffuser for close up and macro. Okay, that's easy. All right, so let me see if these are still working. Uh, it's not. I like to have let me adjust my stuff right here real quick. Okay, that's good enough. So let's go to my deal page. It's just robtrek.com/deals. And let me start here. And I'll come back to the diffuser. But I added a bunch of things here, okay? So arm sleeves, you would spray these with permethrin or whatever. These don't have it embedded into the arms, but these are really useful for close-up and macro photography, keeping poison ivy off your arms and things when you're reaching around, or poison oak. There's all kinds of plants that can mess with your arms, because in the summertime we're always wearing short sleeves. So this is definitely something you want to get. So I think I added this to my cart. Yeah, I got them here. Uh, and they have various colors here, but I recommend that you get the lighter colors because it's easier to see if any ticks or bugs are crawling on you, and you kind of wipe them off. The other thing that's kind of important is ticks don't try to avoid meshy type material because it inhibits their crawling, right? They like smoother skin to crawl on. So it inherently is a little bit tick resistant, but uh, primarily this is for protecting your arms against, when you're leaning against trees or reaching in through brush. This will help with that. And I like the ones that have the thumb that come, so that they don't ride up on your arm like this when you're reaching in. This keeps it nice and snug and protects the back of your hand as well. So this is a really almost a must-have, for if you like to do flowers and plants and bugs, any kind of close-up photography where you're in the woods. Okay, the next thing I have here are now these are not on sale, but it doesn't matter. It's well worth the investment. $25. I have these on my card as well today. But these, basically gaiters for your legs, right? So you would tuck these inside your boots or shoes. Uh, well, actually, you don't need to tuck it in. You would wrap the bottom part of this around your heel and then pull it up and then tie your shoes nice and tight. Ideally, you're wearing boots, but and then over your pants. And again, go for the light colored uh, materials again, so you can see the ticks. I just picked this neutral kind of gray or khaki color. uh, but yeah, I again going for the lighter colors is better in general. And this has the same kind of mesh material. Also, it's embedded with permethrin here. So this is a basically a bug repellent, which helps keep them off of your legs and things. I got so many mosquito bites from on my ankles and legs. It's not even funny. Uh, I mean, literally, probably dozens. So, and this was early on in the spring. I got these as well as I was picking off ticks for days after one. I did some yard work because it's spring, and I was picking off ticks for days. And I wish I had gotten all of this sooner. But this is very important. This is where most of the ticks uh, get onto you is from your shoes and the brush right along your ankles. That's where they like to hide. It's kind of a myth that ticks like to drop down from trees, okay? Because that's not their best angle of attack. Because the odds of them being able to drop down and land on you while you're walking is pretty slim, like deer and other animals. So that is not their go-to strategy to get on you. Their go-to strategy is like in the brush, right? In the grass. So this is the top protection here. You definitely want to do that. Okay, and then of course there's some really good boots here on sale. So you want to pick your size. Like I would get 9 wide. This is a really good deal, waterproof. Also, if you don't bring your mesh uh, gaiters with you, leg warmers or whatever. Yeah, so 1980s, isn't it? But then you can tuck your pants inside these. These are the taller ones, 8-inch tall. You want to get the tallest boots possible uh, for two reasons. One, because it's easier to tuck your pants in if you don't have your leg warmers. But two, Uh, it also gives your ankles better stability and support, so you're less likely to twist your ankle if you're hiking on sort of rough terrain. This gives you maximum stability. So there's nothing worse than, because I wore some loafers or something, camp when I was out hiking one time, and I was doing some waterfall pictures, and I slipped on a rock, twisted my ankle, not to the point that I couldn't walk, but it was really painful, and my feet got wet. So I had to walk back in pain with wet feet for about 2 miles back to my car. Had I been wearing boots like this, I'd have been okay. I have some boots like this now, but lesson learned, right? So that's why I'm sharing this one here with you. Okay, and then some very lightweight pants with lots of pockets. These pockets are very slim, so I would use these for like putting your lens caps and filters and things in your pants, or microfiber cloth, things like that that you need access to on a regular basis. Because a lot of times we're wearing a backpack when we're out hiking, and those kind of items are not always necessarily accessible when you have your backpack. So it's handy to keep uh, those little things, tools like Allen wrenches and uh, coins, things like that that help you out in the field. And having these little tiny pockets, on the side is perfect. Also, these are water resistant, tear resistant. They're very thin, lightweight material. I've had several of these pants in the past, but I've kind of undergrown them. I've lost some weight, so they don't fit anymore. So I have to order some new ones. So you can say I have a couple here in my cart. Again, you want to kind of go with the lighter colors. The idea being to be able to see ticks and other things that get onto your pants. They're going to get dirty and they're never going to wash out completely, but it's okay. I also picked some gray pants just for aesthetic purposes. Uh, Probably not the best idea, but I can't help myself. I just want some gray pants. They have some lighter gray ones here. Maybe I should go for that instead. I'll just put those in. Okay. Uh, and then, of course, you can buy the bug repellent directly. And this repellent is ideal for just spraying on directly. Typically, you wash your clothes with this material, but you can spray this on your clothes, and it'll still work, right? Directly if you didn't actually wash your clothes in them. But you get two big bottles like this. You keep one near your washing machine, and you wash a small select few clothes that you use for going outdoors. And then you take another one and you leave that in your car and you spray that on yourself, like your hat, your gloves, or arm, gaiters and leg gaiters, just for a little extra protection, and your shoes and stuff. Um, so this is really your best defense, especially if you like to do a lot of outdoor photography in the woods. All right, knee pads, you do a lot of kneeling, of course. These are nice and small. You can just pack one in your backpack or hook it around a carabiner, whatever. This is something small and light you can take with you. Uh, if you're going to do a lot of kneeling, then you might as well get knee pads, right? And I found these for like $8. So I would definitely get these. I like the ones that have the straps because you can take them on and off pretty easy. There's other kinds that you have to pull up like over your foot, like a sock, and then bring it up to your knee. I don't think those are ideal. This is better for. Uh, re- oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze there. But yeah, so this is just easier to take on and off, right? And then the other thing are stools, right? But let me show you this one first. This is interesting. This works both as a stool and a knee pad combo. So I kind of like this idea. It's cheaper than buying a stool and a knee pad separately. You get kind of an all-in-one, and it collapses down. Again, this is something you'd probably strap on the outside of your backpack if your backpack has external straps. You may be able to fit it in larger backpacks, but I really love this idea of having an all-in-one knee pad and footrest. Because when you're doing a lot of macro and close-up photography, you're either kneeling or you're sitting for long periods of time. This solves both problems in one shot, right? But of course, this is very, very popular with photographers. It's the collapsible stool. Again, this is something you would just carry around your, shoulder or with a carabiner on your belt, and then just take it off whenever you uh, need to sit down, right? Because a lot of times with flower photography and bug photography, macro photography, you have to sit there a while, right? Because the wind will start blowing, or you need to set up. And trust me, I've sat in one place for like 30 minutes trying to capture something, doing focus stacking and bracketing, and uh, it's a lot easier if you have a stool, especially if you have trouble getting up and down, right? When you get down all the way on the ground, for a lot of people, you know, it's not easy to get up and down from your old high school football injuries or whatever, right? For whatever reason, this is very, very popular. This does not have a Prime Day deal, but it's the cheapest one, and it's got plenty of. It'll cost more than this one did, so I would just get this one because I have this in my cart too. Another interesting product is this one. Let me add this to my cart. I'm curious about this. What I like about this one is it folds flat. So you can put this in your messenger bag, like where you would put your laptop or tablet. And supposedly it holds 220 pounds. So it's a very, very small. Let's see if they have a picture, somebody actually sitting on it. So this picture here, I'm a small person, so this makes a lot of sense for me, right? Uh, so I'm thinking about this pretty hard. Um, I really like the portability. It's more portable than say even this collapsible bench, and certainly more portable than the two-in-one knee pad and bench. So for maximum portability, and if you're on the smaller side, then you can kind of get away in a very portable setup here. Uh, but I would say if you're not 100% sold on the items that I've picked out here, just pick one of these, right? Like you can pick these pants and then select the color, size. But usually down here in the carousel, they'll have a lot of different styles that you can choose from. Like I was looking at these, and then I decided I didn't want to go with the zippers. Zippers are good for things that you definitely don't want to fall out of your pocket when you're getting up and down. As a pocket, ones with pockets, sometimes things can slip out. It's not often, but there's potential there. But if you have it zipped, it ain't coming out, right? So maybe you want to think about something like this rather than the ones that have just the pocket flaps. This has a zipper, so this is going to be a lot more secure. Um, so that's where I wanted to start. So let me get to the first question about from Robert in the chat section. This is a good diffuser. So I have this one. And I have all this on my deals page, of course, right? So let me grab it. I have it in my messenger bag. I highly recommend this messenger bag. It's on my deal page as well. But I have it just stuffed inside here, right in the back flap where your tablet would go, right? So this is it. And this will fit the round head flashes and also the square head flashes because this is just adjustable. So there's this kind. This is probably the best one because it gets the light in front of the lens. So let me get my OM3 and 60 millimeter macro or OM1. I know you have an OM3, so I'm gonna use the OM3 as an example. Get the strap off. Oops. This has the option to let me use it as a wrist strap too. This other strap, but okay. And I need this is the Godox 4 something. It's a new one out by Godox. Well, this is Sony. So I'm gonna show you with two different flashes, right? So we'll start with the TT350. This is a great little flash. I'm no longer recommending it since this new flash from Godox came out, but you just wrap it on there. There's a little elastic band here, and then just straighten it out. And let me put the 60 macro lens on. So the key thing is you want the light to be in front of the lens. And you can just sort of maneuver this and stretch it so it tilts. And now you have, maybe you've seen uh those $100 diffusers, right? That of course those are the best. But this is the one that I use to take pictures of frog and or well, lots of stuff, lots of bugs and close-up photography. And this works great. I like this one a lot. Okay. And then the other thing is, I'll show you on this is the largest flash head that I have, right? This also fits quite easily on here. So again, it gets the light in front of the lens. That's the most important thing with the diffuser. And weighs nothing, and you can take it on and off, uh, and then when you're done using it, it just collapses down nice and flat. And this is what I keep in my bag. There's another kind of diffuser that I really like, and this is better for like if you like to use the FLM3, the little tiny pop-up flashes and little flash. I did a lot of flashes yesterday's stream, but they're still on my deals page. This one is good. This diffuser is good for uh, tiny flashes like this that you can't mount like the other one. You can't mount it on the flash because it's too small. So this is really good for the tiny pop-up flashes because I see a lot of people with the FLM3 or tiny attachment flashes like this, or maybe you have a pop-up flash in your camera. This is the way to go. Now, there's a couple of variations of this. that you want to get the one that has the elastic like this around, because some of them are just a ring and it's not elastic. You want to get the one with the elastic because that makes it a lot more secure on the lens. Because if you didn't have the elastic, this thing would just flop over all the time and you have to hold it. So what I do is, I'm walking around and this will stay in place no matter how I turn the camera. Typically what I do is I use my finger and tilt it forward like that. And that brings the entire diffused light closer to the subject, and it gets it in front of the lens, right? This I don't have on my deals page, but I'll find one and put it on there. The ones with the elastic band are usually $1 or two more, but it's excuse me, it's worth it, right? The other kind of diffuser you can get uh, is not, you might see the diffusers that kind of come up behind the flash like this. Those will do in a pinch, but those are more for doing like event photography where you're doing, taking pictures of people at events and you want a little catch light. That works great for this flash or square head flashes, any kind of flash, because you can rotate them when you turn the camera this way and you want to have bounce flash, you can rotate it so it points this way, right? And then you still get the bounce flash, and then you get the key light and fill light. Those diffusers, let's see if I have. Yeah, this one. This diffuser, like I said, is better for like events where you want to bounce and have a little fill light. I'll add this to the thing for those of you that might be interested in this kind of diffuser. And these come in two styles also. This one has this more specular uh, light. So it's going to give a little more detail uh, in the skin. It's very subtle. I wouldn't worry about it. I think in a blind test, it'd be very hard to tell the difference between a white one and this one is in silver. Like here's a white one, right? This is double-sided. So it's soft white on one side and it's more specular on the other side. I would use the softer side, white side for people, right? But if I was doing flower photography or close-up photography, I would use the more specular side to see more fine detail in the light. Okay, or from the light, I should say. There's these octagonal shaped ones. This, this I would say again is probably better for event type photography. Because it's going to spread the light a little bit too much for for close up and macro work. But either one, it's going to be good. But the key difference, the key difference between say this kind of diffuser and the other one that I wrap around the flash, this one, the key difference is this one cuts the light power from your flash in half. Because if you think about it, right, half the light, half the light is being bounced back into your face, and only about half the light is getting through. Because you could use this with any flash. It doesn't have to be these tiny flashes, right? I could easily use this with this flash the same way. And the only caveat being is yeah, I don't have quite as much distance here. So the light's not going to spread quite as nicely. You have to use a lot more power from your flash. So if you have one of the taller flashes like this, the other diffuser is better. So as you can see, it's not like one size fits all, right? You have to uh, choose the right tool for the job. And I think fortunately, all these things are cheap enough, right? You could buy all three. You could buy this one, the other one, and the the reflector style for like $30. You can get all three or less, and you're set up for anything, right? Excuse me. Okay, so let me get to the chat section now and make sure I still have audio. Uh, so Kevin is here. Good to see you, Kevin. And permethrin works great. Spray it on your shoes and packs. Hike the whole Appalachian Vermont, not a tick. Great for mosquitoes too. Yeah, mosquitoes, man. Why don't they bite each other? Mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. On my end, the audio is out of sync. Oh, yeah, the audio is out of sync. Uh, I didn't check that when I set up the new camera. Let me see if I can adjust it a little bit on the fly. Let's see. I'm not sure. Test, test. Okay, I'm going to set this up to 330. All right, I don't know if that's going to help or not. Okay. Dang it, I didn't test audio when I was setting up the camera. Like I said, I did it real quick last night because I wanted a wider thing, or I wanted to try the webcam. And it says I have the same diffuser, works pretty good, quite expensive, works good with the Canon RF 100 2.8L. Okay. Uh, quite inexpensive. I'm sorry. Yeah, it works great. You know, the ones that are enclosed, this one, there's a silver lining inside, right? So more of the flash's power is directed out towards the front. It's not perfect because when you put it at an angle, it kind of crinkles a little bit. So if you can spread it out. Another tip when you're using this is I like to put Velcro on the flash, the soft part, you know, the clothy part around the flash. That helps diffusers like this stick a little better because you know plastic is smooth, right? So if you add a little bit of this to your flash, uh, it'll be even more secure. So maybe pick up, if you don't have any laying around the house, pick up a couple of strips of Velcro and stick them to your flash. Okay. And Todd says, I have a pair of very lightweight, finely woven metal mesh pants. Oh, interesting. That you just pull over your regular pants when kneeling on the ground. The ticks can't get through the mesh. It's just added layer. That's a great tip. Because the leg gaiters only go up to your knees. They don't cover your knees. So that's interesting. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look into that. And I use it with my EM13 and 60 macro. Yep. So would the octagonal work with the V1 with the round head flash? Yes. So I guess if you want to kind of keep that little more even spread of light, the octagonal shape will be rounder. Right? I mean, these are very, very subtle differences. So you can get them all, right? Because they're cheap enough. This one's $10. The other one was $8. The other one was $5. I guess I should add these to my thing. Uh, oh, it is. It is. I did add it, and this one. Let me see if I can find the one with the elastic, because that is really useful. So that's a little bit trickier to find because if you look at this one here, this does not have the elastic that comes all the way in. It's kind of elasticy right around the hole, but if you can get it where it's a smaller hole and more elastic, it's better. Um, but I had a hard time finding the one that I got, and oh, that's interesting. They have some diffusers with colored. That's wow, that's not a bad idea. I think I'll add that to my list. That's not a bad idea. Okay, if you like to do color photography, that one doesn't have the gel. Here it is. This is the one that I bought. So wow, this is hard. It's not available anymore. Let's see. Okay, it's yeah, you can get it. You just have to click on that buying option. But yeah, this is the one that I have, and of course it just folds down very easily once you get the hang of it, right? And it comes with a little pouch that you just put it in, and then when you're ready to use it, it pops out. So where's the little pouch? I keep it in this little pouch that it came with, and then this one I just keep in my side pocket in my messenger bag like that. I take both. I take both, or I keep both in my bag. Because if I'm going to go do close-up photography, this is all I need, right? OM3, 60 macro, maybe some extension tubes or a diopter. So that all fits in, very easily. It doesn't add any weight. Another thing you should get is like these is like a little mini tripod. Uh, I did have one on the deal page that was $30, but it's back to $50. You can't get it anymore. And this one is on sale for 35, but I paid $20 before Prime Day. So just wait. Just wait until I get a good deal on this. I wouldn't pay 35 for this. This is not something you need right away, right? This is something you can wait until you get a really good deal, even if it's in a month or two. It's okay. Why spend 35 to $50 for this when you can get it for 20 if you just wait? Money no object, just get it now. But, that's rarely the case for most of us, right? Okay. Uh, Unfortunately, I bought the mesh pants at Canadian Tire for $10. Hmm. Amazon has the mesh mosquito and tick protection pants too. Yeah, I had trouble finding those. Uh, I wouldn't mind getting those. Let me take a quick look. Mosquito mesh pants. Oh, I've never this is like what those beekeepers wear. Like these things. Interesting. Let's see if we got this is like a full on. Trust me, I feel like wearing this sometimes. Okay, interesting. This is awesome. So what I'm gonna do for this, there's so many choices. I don't have the time to vet the different styles of these. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm just gonna put this link in the chat okay, to this page. It's not very elegant though, but if you're serious about it, that looks like a great option. And hello, Henning. Good to see you. All right. Uh, so I think I caught up with the chat. We've kind of gone over the outdoorsy type photographer stuff here. I really like all of this stuff. I have a lot of, let me refresh my page, see what I got on my cart, because it keeps going up. I got this, I got some pants, the stool. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. So I'm gonna get all this stuff. So if you guys get the same stuff, we can be woodland photographer buddies. Come on out. I'm out in Maryland, Virginia, DC area. Uh, with our OM3s and 60 macros, or OM1s and 60 macro lenses with our diffusers. We're ready for anything, right? Okay, let me see. I've reorganized this just a tiny bit and I've added a couple of new things. This is a really interesting lens. Okay, it's an M42 mount, so you'll have to get an adapter, but then you can adapt this to any camera. But this is that bubble bokeh lens that a lot of people are talking about, and somebody mentioned last week in a stream, and I said, "Oh, what the heck is that?" And here it is, and it's on sale. And the idea being is it gives you this soap bubble effect type bokeh. If you don't like it, don't get it. But if you want to experiment and have some fun, uh, this is really interesting. This will even go on a GFX 50R, so it has a pretty wide field of view. I mean, the way they achieve this bubble bokeh is they don't do corrections in the lens, right? They just let the light pass through, and then it naturally, uh, the way it bends around the corners, it creates this soap bubble effect. So what higher end lenses do, or what a lot of lenses do, is they try to eliminate that to make the bokeh a little bit smoother and creamier. So they add additional lenses. The best way to get rid of it is like the spherical lenses, right? Those are really good at getting rid of that. But the trade-off is the spherical lenses give you that onion ring effect, unless it's a very high-end lens where it's really well polished. Um, Otherwise, they're going to have to add several lenses to get rid of it. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but this lens is cool. $146, and then you need to get one of these adapters. So this is a M42 to Sony. This one's an M42 to Micro Four Thirds, but they have any mount that you want. So, and a lot of these are on sale, and this is a little bit higher quality adapter. But so you would get these two together. If you know you're going to get a Sony, you might as well spend a little bit less here, right? Uh, AA batteries, but these are lithium ion AA's with the charger, $18. I never seen this price for uh, lithium batteries. This is a really, really good deal. Together with that, you want to make sure you get these uh, AA storage cases, because you don't want the AA batteries running around loose in your bag or in your glove box. There are stories about people's cars catching on fire because the batteries in their glove box touched. Uh, Same thing within your bag, they could explode. Lithium is a very volatile chemical, or lithium batteries, I should say, are very volatile. So you want to make sure you get these cases. I use these a lot. uh, my TT350, all my radio triggers for my flashes, uh, my mouse, the whatchamacallits, the remote timers, external intervalometers. You need AA and AAA batteries all the time, and you need to carry them properly, just like your regular camera batteries and everything. It's ideal. If you have nothing else, put them in a plastic bag. or if you have a really good mesh in your, you have elastic pockets specifically for batteries in your messenger bag or backpack. Fortunately, a lot of the batteries these days, they are they are recessing the pins. I don't know if you can see. The pins are recessed inside. So the likelihood of this touching another battery and causing a problem is mitigated quite a bit with the newer batteries. The older style batteries, like in my Pentax, uh, the pins are just sitting there, top and bottom. They've been using this battery for 20 years, I think. So they didn't take into account. So if you have batteries like this, you have to be really especially careful. Okay. Uh, like the newer OM style battery. Let's see what they did. See, it's only on one side, the top, and they're slightly recessed. Not as much as I would like, so I would still be very careful. But it's better than the old Pentax ones. So they get a little better over time. And then Ethan asks, I have not tried the Helios. I've seen a lot of pictures through the Helios. The Helios does sort of a double duty, swirly and bubbly, right? Uh, so that's pretty cool. You can get those. I think those are M39 mount. I can't remember. And you can get those in 50 millimeter, so it's not quite as tight. Because if you put a 100 millimeter lens on a micro four thirds, yeah, you're talking about really a telephoto. But that's even hard to do portraits with a 100 millimeter lens on micro four thirds or even APS-C. So I'd really only recommend that for full frame. Uh, it'll be a lot more versatile, but the Helios, I don't know what they're selling. They used to be like $30. They've probably gone up quite a bit. But yeah, there's a lot of options. My favorite option for swirly bokeh is actually they're $50 now, but they used to be like 25, $30. Is the 35 millimeter f1.7 CCTV lens. So let me see if I can find that. Um, this lens I really like. It's not any of these. It's this one. Okay, it's on sale for 42, and it comes with the adapter for Fuji. This is the Fuji version. They should have a Micro Four Thirds version. Yeah, it's here. How much is that one? $44. So we can add this to the list. This lens gives the soap bubble effect is not quite as strong, but you get really nice swirly bokeh from this lens. The reason being is CCTV lenses have a very small image circle. And as you go outside of the optimal image circle that it was designed for, you start to see all of the defects in the lens. So this lens has two very distinct properties: is a small image circle, and number two, so you get a little bit of vignetting too. Not so much on Micro Four Thirds, but you get a little bit of vignetting, and also there's field curvature out the butt with this lens. So as you go out towards the edges of the frame, you get some things in focus and some things out of focus. So it has kind of a really, really dreamy effect to it. I haven't done anything with that lens in a long time, but it used to be my favorite lens for Micro Four Thirds. And it comes in black and silver and various mounts. I haven't tried it on a full frame camera. It'd probably be a lot of vignetting on full frame, but on Micro Four Thirds and Fuji, it's not a problem. And it's a very small lens, very small. Okay. And Ethan says, Rob, for the soap bubble. Oh, yeah, I just did that one. I started my macro by using the Helios 442 reversed on the end of a Sony A28. Yes. If anybody knows about macro, it's Ethan. Okay. You should find him on Instagram. It's amazing work. Uh, but yeah, there's several ways to do macro without a macro lens, right? You can do extension tubes. You can get these diopters, which I have on my deal page. Uh, this is kind of my favorite way to do macro or close-up photography because you can just pop this. I can pop this on the front of any lens, and I get basically double magnification, but I also get very close-up. So you're not going to focus to infinity with this on here. You're going to get something like this. And I didn't with this particular one because there's a lot of cheap diopters out there. But this one here, I didn't see any loss in image quality. And this is also on my deal page. And this will fit up to lenses up to 72 millimeter filter ring because it comes with two different adapters. And that's what I was doing. I have to review this flash. I was supposed to have it done today, but I haven't even started. But I used this on the Sony kit lens, right? Together with uh, that diffuser I showed you. And I got some pretty interesting shots. I haven't even offloaded them yet. Let me see if there's any in here. Yeah, that's boring. I thought it was a bug. Turned out to be like a dead something. I don't know if you can see. It's going to be impossible to see. But I got this bug. Uh, it looks really overexposed on the screen here, but I bet I could plug it in. Oh, I can't. I don't have a right cable. Well, that cable would work. And just a reminder, if you guys are watching this like after it's gone, after I'm offline, so you're watching this in replay, play it at 1.5x and you'll get through the stream a lot faster. Because like I've said many times, I spend a lot of time going into the fine print and trying to demo everything that I'm trying to shill here. So let's see. Wonder if nope, I got nothing. Maybe it's because of the video setting. Hold on. I have it set to uh dang it. I'm never gonna find it. HDMI out setting. Where is it? External output HDMI 1080p 60. HDMI output settings on. Raw output off. Info display off. All right, let me try one more time. This should be working. Got nothing. Oh, hold on. Maybe, maybe this way. I'm here. I'm here. Why is this not? Okay. I can't get this to display. 1080p. Let's try auto. Output on. Output resolution. Auto. Still nothing. Dang it. Oh, how about this button? Nope. Oh well, sorry about that, guys. I can't get it to display. I don't know why not. Anyhow, and Ray says, what softbox would you recommend with the TT350 speed light? So again, if you're talking about for close-up photography, I'd like this one the best. You know, doing macro and close-up. You'll see this on my deal page, this one here. And on your TT350, it'd be useful to add some Velcro strips on it. It'll make it more secure when you attach this. Uh, it doesn't it doesn't have Velcro inside here, but it just makes the surface a little bit less smooth. So you just wrap that around. And the idea being is you want to get the light in front of the lens for your close-up photography. Okay. And T-Dow says, I have the Nisi 49 NC close-up adapter diopter lens. It fits the Canon RF 100 macro lens and adds significantly to the magnification. Yes. So I use the diopter on my 60 macro lens, but I also use it like on kit lenses and the 40 to 150 kit lens. These are all great because you're setting your aperture to f9, f11 anyway, so you don't need a fast lens, uh, and you don't have to worry about vignetting and all of that because your field of view is very tight, starting at 60 millimeters. So if you're trying to do wide angle macro, then you might see a little vignetting, but just crop in. You're going to crop in anyway in post, right? So, and Marco's here. Hey, how's it going? On a tear with the streams is, yeah, I know, on a tear. Just back with the own. Oh man, I keep checking. Why don't you come online and show it to us if you have it in hand? I can give you the link. Um, Let me see if I can grab the link. Oh, where is it? Video. Oh, had a guest. Here it is. And for that matter, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If anybody else wants to join live with your webcam, you're welcome to join me. We can have a discussion about any of the gear and things we talked about, or you can describe better what you're trying to do or what you're looking for. Anyway, Marco, there's the link in the chat section for everybody. But yeah, I'm excited to see. Let me just take a short 1 minute break here, and then we'll do a little unboxing because I got a new camera in today myself. Come to think of it. Uh, okay, I'm back. I just had to get some coffee. I was getting a little cotton mouth. Um, so Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Yeah, Ethan really has some amazing work. Let me find so this is some of Ethan's work. I mean, these are like little grains of sand. And just to give you some perspective, this is your typical macro shot, right? Bugs. But it's pretty amazing. So the 90 macro with the teleconverter, and then he did a stacking. Golly, crazy. I mean, is that a bug's eye? This is my favorite dew on the eye of a fly. And this is where you used what? The 60 macro, the Raynox, and a 16 millimeter extension tube and an MC20. Man, you went all out here. It's crazy. So if we go back to my deal page, uh, if you could tell me in the chat section what extension tube brand worked with the 60 macro, or I'm sorry, with the teleconverter, because I understand like my extension tubes, I can't fit my teleconverter in the tube. It's too narrow, the diameter. But let's see, the 60 macro is not on sale right now. It's 549. There are some TG5 accessories on sale. This one works with the LED and this one works with the flash. So I would recommend the LED one, but either way, this will give you some good light for close because the TG5 you have to put smack up against the subject to get really good macro. See if there's something else here. Yeah, Kenko 16 millimeter. Okay, so Kenko extension tubes, Olympus. Seriously, $100? Is that right? Man, that's like 3 times the cost I thought they'd be. But if you wanna do what Ethan does, this is the only way to do it. Um, I'll add this is not really a deal, but what are you gonna do, right? Let's see if there's any. I just don't see. Here's Kenko for Canon. Wow. Does anyone know any other brands that work? I mean, if you're gonna spend $100 on extension tubes, you gotta be pretty hardcore. That's the right price. Okay. So yeah, the all metal part, it's good to know that they actually used all metal because these other extension tubes that you buy for like $30, like this is the set that I have. It looks like it's metal. That is a metal plate there on the front. The problem is they're screwed into plastic. So a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, right? These work perfectly fine for me because I'm not trying to stuff my teleconverter through it. But I have broken these before because the metal, this metal ring and everything inside is plastic. In out, it's better to have a metal plate mount than not. But uh, yeah, I've broken one of my extension tubes because it's just plastic inside, and the plastic broke. So the ones that Ethan's talking about, that's why they're $100. Okay, so Marco's here. Hey, Marco.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't give you any notice.
No, all
Anyhow,
good.
let me adjust my volume so we don't get too much echo. All right, that should mitigate it.
Gotcha. Is it okay? I'm not wearing earphones either, so you might get some feedback from me.
Okay. So let's see it. You got an OM5 Mark II in sand, right?
I literally just walked in the door. I haven't even opened it yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I just just before the stream started, I got a new camera. Not an OM5, but I got something here.
Is that the Pentax you ordered from eBay?
Yeah, spoiler. Hello.
You've been talking about it all week.
I know, but doesn't mean that's what came in today. You got to build up the tension here, man.
So I'll pull out all the accessories first, but it's the typical OM manuals in there.
Yeah. Let me put you. How come this is? Yeah, I'm gonna put you up there, and I'm gonna go in the middle.
I think it's all the generic accessories that everyone has probably seen before. Just the OM little strap.
So is that? Let me ask you about the strap.
Yep.
Is the strap embroidered or is it just print?
I will let you know in 10 seconds. Let me get it open.
Because I can't remember what camera I got this strap with.
It's just printed.
But this is beautifully embroidered.
Yeah, no, it's just print. Those just nice print? Embroidered ones, I think, were with the EM1s.
Ah, yeah, it's definitely an OMD, so it's probably my EM1 Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, I don't know, one of those.
Yep. All right, here it is.
And I put these anyhow. Oh, nice. Yeah. That is beautiful.
I really dig it. I totally didn't need it. I sold a couple of couple of my older ones, so it really cost me nothing. But I totally didn't need it.
Wow.
Now wait, here's the big test. I want to see if the stuff. All right, I can confirm if you have anything with the similar bottom bracket from an EM5-3 or OM5 it fits.
Is that the Hogue?
No, this is the really right stuff. I just wanted the bottom plate.
Oh, okay. So that goes right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the Hogue.
I have the Hogue right here though. Let me 1 second.
Yeah, try because I have the Hogue on my EM5 Mark III. This fits the OM5 Mark 1.
The Hogue is not going to fit. The grip is extended too far out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bet if you take the grip off, because it's just an Allen screw.
I mean, it's really close. If you're okay squishing the plastic here, it might fit, but it's not a great fit.
Yeah, no, just get the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get the right one. I mean, new camera, new grip, right? Why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
That's awesome.
So I
That's
will.
awesome.
I'll charge it up, and I'll send you a note, let you know how long it took to charge with the
Okay,
internal
so you
cable
got
there.
the new. So was it just the color that grabbed you to want to get this camera, or was there anything?
Yeah, it was literally like when I saw the color at Build, I said, "Oh, I'm selling mine and getting this one."
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Because God knows I don't need it. I have you have an OM3 too now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally a vanity thing. I had absolutely no reason for it.
Hold on. I need to turn the volume up just a little bit more. I'm sorry. Did you say you got an OM3 or not?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was totally a
Okay.
vanity thing. It's just the color made me. I'm constantly searching for deals, so I amass all this crap that I never use. So I just sell it and trade it in.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I don't know if I can sell my EM5 Mark III though.
Why?
What am I going to get on trade? Like $100? You know,
Yeah, you'll get 250 for that. No.
maybe, but you know, you have to take into account condition, right? Because you know, I wasn't kind to this camera, but all the same, it might be fun to compare the two in a video or something directly.
Yep.
Because this has the older menu system, and it has the older processor and the older because this has the TruePic 8. The new one has the TruePic 9.
Yep.
So there's going to be definitely more features, better autofocus performance. Even though the focusing system is the same, it should get better performance with the new processor.
Supposedly it's a newer algorithm too, but who knows?
Yeah. Because I know I've been struggling with the only thing that this camera cannot do is like backyard birding and tree swallows, really small, fast birds. I really struggle with. The only way I was able to capture any images at all was like using Pro Capture high speed, right? I forget what they call it. But where it only focuses one time. And then you know, if the bird is moving out of the focal plane, it's out of focus. But that's the only way I was able to capture any. But everything else, this camera can do what my OM3 does, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
OM5 Mark II would.
guys were birding with the EM13, and that's basically what the OM5 was, and now this one. So like, if you were happy with an EM13 performance, you'd be happy with this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, for larger birds, you know, osprey and hawks and eagles, OM5 Mark II will be fine.
Yeah,
because those are easier to track by eye, right? And the continuous autofocus works great for those kind of subjects that are larger. But like I said, it's the little tree swallows that are like only a few pixels wide.
yeah.
You know, those struggle. But that's cool. That's cool. Show us the camera one more time.
Yeah, you got it. Are we
Yeah.
focused in here? There we are. We're focused.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And you know what? Since we're both live, everyone posting online that this is the same bottom plate as the original OM5. It's not. You'll notice the pogo pins are gone. So that hole right there on the original it's now a solid piece here. You know, so
Right.
and they did reinforce it with the OM5. So this one should be even stronger without that hole. But people seem to think it's the same when there's a hole missing, so it can't be the same, obviously.
Yeah. And, you know, I'd like to, and my heart goes out to Robin Wong. From what, you know, but I want to repeat what he said in one of his live streams was that it's not OM System's fault that thing is breaking because it's meant to be put on a tripod, which doesn't move.
Yep.
And people are putting it on their Peak Design strap clips and the camera's, you know, wobbling up and down. So I think he makes a valid point.
There's so many other brands that are cracked in the same spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it on every camera, metal cameras, plastic cameras, more predominantly. And I always put a full base plate on all my cameras to help distribute the weight.
Yep.
And I've never had a problem. But I get it. Some people are having problem. I don't want to diminish that, but
I do the same thing too,
mine.
not only for the protection, but to always be ready for a tripod. You always have the plate on there, and you're just ready to go
Yeah,
when you want to go.
yeah. And if you have nothing but a concrete sidewalk or something or a rock to put this on,
Yeah.
God, I hate that. That is my pet peeve. Every frickin', YouTuber, at least in Robin Wong's last video, he put it on wood.
But there's always bugs crawling on him in Robin's videos.
But everyone's guilty of this. They'll just set their lens down without the cap on like a rock. Drives me nuts. So what's new with you, Marco? Anything new?
No, just been working like crazy. Spent all day yesterday in New York City at a Samsung event. Just work. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Anything new you want to share with us on the tech side, like Amazon deals or anything?
I've been relying on you. I haven't been shopping. I've been so busy. I've been just leaving your streams on in the background while I'm working over here.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I will take over then. So thanks so much for sharing that with us, Marco.
Thanks for letting me jump in. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
cool.
We'll talk to you again. Thanks. All right. Let me see if I can find my chat window. And I still have audio, right? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so Ethan says you can shave off the plastic inside. So if you're a crafty person, like you have a Dremel kit and you love your Dremel kit, you can probably do it. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I would try it. I guess you could use one of those round files and just sort of work your way around. But do so at your own risk is all I can say. But yeah, that's true though. I've heard of people doing that. And Ethan says the Mikey won't work. Yeah, I can confirm that because that's what I use. And Jeff says, thanks, Ethan. I've got the Leica scope. Oh, okay. Cool. That close-up photography's got me intrigued that Ethan is doing. So, all right. So we've kind of transitioned to a regular live stream rather than a shopping live stream. Let me just go back to my deal page and see if there's anything else I wanted to kind of point out. I love this Anker power supply 7. Whoops. Why did oh, there we go. So this Anker power supply, this is a great deal. This rarely goes on sale, and when it does, you should pick one of these up. Of course, the Samsung 4 terabyte. I've covered a lot of this in my previous streams, so I won't go over those again. And I do have a couple of tripod notable mentions. Okay, so let me go back to my deal page that I have the link to in my thing here. I do want to go down to, there's a lot of great battery chargers on sale. These are all really good. This bag, of course, is a great canvas bag. Here's another canvas bag I found that it's really nice. A little bit different style with some leather accents. Basically the same price, $34, $35. It's roughly about the same size, but this uses snaps instead of Velcro. So if you don't like Velcro, you can get this bag instead. And it's pretty much the same thing, just different style. $34, that's a good deal. And this backpack, there's two new backpacks that I want to talk about. This backpack I don't own, but I have A friend of mine has this backpack and it's great. It's a little bit on the smaller side. I think this is like an 18-liter, give or take, but it's perfect for Micro Four Thirds gear and mirrorless gear. It's not too thick, really high quality materials, and they give you a boatload of dividers with it. So you can definitely pack in all your Micro Four Thirds stuff in here. Uh, I can highly recommend this backpack because I have seen this one in person. This backpack, I, I I added this Low Pro. It's not a great deal, but it's not bad. But Low Pro is high quality. I would call this a mid-tier versus entry level. Every just about everything on my shopping page is, entry level. But this is a mid-tier bag for $127. It's a good bag. This is a very similar bag, a little bit larger, but this has canvas material, like a cloth canvas material instead of the nylon canvas. And lots of room, 22 liters. I love this bag. If I didn't already have a bag that I really like, I would get this one, $55. This is a really good deal for this bag. And it's a K&F brand. I really like the K&F brand. And let's see, lenses. These are all great lenses, except for the Yongnuo. I tested the Yongnuo version 1. It sucked. The autofocus sucked. Yongnuo version 2, supposedly they fixed that. So you can buy it. If it works good, keep it. If not, just return it. But it's a good deal for 110 bucks if it works. But I could have sworn, I think I put it down here. I didn't talk about filters much, but all of these filters are excellent. Don't forget to get some filter rings, step rings, so you can use the same filter on different lenses. All the monopods, tripods. Okay, this is new. This is a great ball head for $16. There's other brands. This ball head has been rebranded, 10 different ways to Sunday. And for whatever reason, when it's branded under this name, it's dirt cheap. But this is the same ball head that I see sell for $25 to $30. Even a regular price is $21. But it's right today it's $14.95, and this has a 38 millimeter ball head, so this is going to hold full frame cameras with their telephoto lenses, no problem. Maybe not a 600 f4, but like your typical 200 to 800s, your 70 to 200s, anything from Micro Four Thirds all the way up to full frame. This ball head is going to be strong enough. And it's a great ball head to add to any tripod. See, it's a 50 centimeter base, so it's a little bit smaller than the large tripods that usually are 65 millimeter or 6 centimeters, but it's still it's still a good size. I don't know. The thing is, at $15, it's almost cheaper to buy the ball head with the Arca Swiss plate together. Because if you were to buy Arca Swiss plates individually, they cost almost that much. So you might as well get a backup ball head at the same time, is the way I look at it. Um, the extension arm, let me just make a note about this extension arm. I reviewed this extension arm. It's very heavy duty. It's a little bit much to take out into the field, but in a studio, for product photography, tabletop photography, this is awesome. It's very, very sturdy. You're going to need to put on a very sturdy tripod as well, because this is not a small, lightweight extension arm. This is a heavy duty one, but it's really good. Um, and then, of course, all the memory cards I talked about yesterday, these are all excellent deals. This is the Type A for Sony cameras. This is the Type B for everything else. 512 gig for $88. That's hard to beat. And don't forget to get a card reader. Here's a micro SD card, 512 gigs, Samsung for $28. That's hard to beat. And then this flash I should be getting in next week, and I'll do a review on that. And then of course, the OM5 Mark II does not come with and is not compatible with the FLM3. So that's why I put all of these alternatives here. Of all the ones I put here, I would get this Medialite. This is the best one. And then the Godox X3 trigger is on sale now for $79. These are the kind of, I'm putting this up here because if you're in the US, tariffs are going to take effect eventually, and they're going to run out of stock at this price. I'm already seeing it on individual items. And this is going to be one of those items. The price is going to go up once they're out of stock. So I would get this because, as you guys know, I've not made any videos trying to terrorize people about buy it now before the tariffs kick in, because really they haven't really affected too much. They're starting to now though. But I remember back in April and May, there were videos out there terrorizing people, buy it now, tomorrow the price is going to be double. You know, crap like that. But now I'm starting to actually see it for myself. So I'm giving you this heads up. It's starting to happen. So it's good that Prime Day is now rather than say in a month, because I am starting to see things go out of stock and things going up in price when they're back in stock. So anything that you see on my deal page today, these things are things that have not gone up in price yet. At least I don't think they have. And they're on a sale. But you need to get them before they're out of stock, because I took off about 20 things from my deal page today because they're no longer in stock. They had a limited quantity at that price. And once they're gone, they're gone. Now the OM system stuff, you know, Micro Four Thirds and the OM3 grips, you know, and things that I have, you'll probably be okay because there's, you know, we're a very niche market, right? Probably not going to sell out. On the flip side, they probably didn't stock a lot either. So when they do sell out, we'll never see it again. So it's better to get it now than later, if you're even thinking about it. Okay, I'm just going to do one last skim and we're done. So that's it for my deals today. And I hope you guys, you know, get some good deals. Start with my deal page, and then because a lot of things you're interested in it, but maybe it's not for your brand of camera. So just click on my link first, because I'll get the commission. But primarily because when you click on my link, you'll usually see options for other brands, particularly like on the lenses. Just to give you one example, let me pull up a lens. The Viltroxes do that. So when you click on my link, it takes you to the Fujifilm mount, but you can check down here and they have different focal lengths, and sometimes they have different brands, right? Like this newer flash. Let's see. If I click on this flash, you'll see they have it for Sony, Nikon, Canon from that one link. So always start, if you're interested in a particular product, start with the link on my page first, click on it, and then see if you have the options for your particular brand of camera or whatever it is. And if it's not there, then you go ahead and search for it. And also keep in mind that it really helps me out a lot is when you shop for other things other than camera gear. If you're getting, you know, like if you're buying those outdoor pants, or if you're buying kitchenware, whatever, once you start from my page, within 24 hours, anything you buy, I should get credit for. Not always, but I should. And that helps me a lot because I see a lot of things on my commission page where people are buying other things that are not related to photography, and that's because they started here and then they went elsewhere. And like I said, every little bit helps. Particularly this month, they got bonuses for gross sales. I'm getting very close to getting that bonus too. I hate to make this all about me, but initially, hopefully you saw that my intentions were sincere in trying to find you good deals on the things that were on my deal page and make recommendations that I think are budget friendly and make sense, and try to explain why I chose the gear like the diffusers. I went to get great length today about the diffusers, and I hope all of that made sense for you guys. Okay. Let me go to the chat section. I still got a little energy left. I can talk about anything you want. Um, and let's see. Any last minute recommendations on a good all around tripod? Okay, absolutely. Um, it depends on what your budget is, but there's two tripods that really stand out to me, and they're sort of mid level. These are not entry level tripods. These are mid tier. Okay. Uh, so let me go to this one. Is excellent. It rarely goes on sale. The Photo Pro carbon fiber 60-inch heavy duty tripod. Okay, so a couple of things I like about it. They've highlighted here. Very thin profile, so it packs easy. Goes into the side of your backpack, easy. Goes underneath your messenger bag, easy. Very, very slim profile. See, they 6.3 centimeters. So we're talking like this much. That's the diameter right there. If I put my finger right there, just that much, just this part. It's very, very narrow. Uh, the other thing I like about it, let's see if they highlight that. They don't really highlight this part, is the ball head. Um, this ball head, do they tell you? It's a 1.5 kilos, 60-inch heavy duty tripod, so it's really lightweight. And okay, 44 millimeter ball head. This is really, really stable. Okay, really stable ball head. Let me see what else. Yeah, these are just variations of it. So if you're shooting with a huge lens like this, you definitely want 44 millimeter ball head. Okay. The 38 millimeter that I talked about before, I would not put this kind of gear on it. Okay. I would put my OM1 with 300 f4, but I would not put like a Sony A1 with a 600 f4. Not on something like this. Very, very stable. But let me know in the comment, you know, what your what kind of tripod you're looking for. Uh, if you want one of the best tripods, that one I just showed you is really good. And then Leaf Photo tripods are my favorite. Well made, well priced. Yes, Leaf Photo makes a lot of great stuff. Uh, where are the SD cards in my list? Okay, so let me know, Will, if that tripod I just showed you is kind of what you were looking for, if you were looking for something a little bit different. Okay, and how you want it different, and then I can kind of narrow into that. But let me get to the SD card thing, and then I'll go back to the tripod section. I'll talk about the different tripods I've listed there, and also what your budget is, right? Because uh, and if you like to do panos, all kinds of things. Um, but okay, let me. So You just type in robtrek.com/deals, right? That's my generic link. Whoops. robtrek.com/deals. It should take you to this handpicked deals page. And the memory cards are about halfway down. Just keep going down. Here are the lenses. I think after the lenses are the memory cards. Oh, no, that's the tripods. Yeah, after the tripods, here are the memory cards. Now, when it comes to memory cards, type A for Sony, type B here for everything else like Nikon. And this is a V90 card. If you need a V90 card, like in a Sony a6700 for video, this is a really good deal. For everything else, okay, the V60 card will give you the same performance. There's no need to get a V90 card unless you're doing 8K high bitrate video or whatever that Sony a6700 spec is. Or maybe in some of the GH7s, GH6, they have very high bitrate video specs where you need a V90. If you're not doing high bitrate video, everything else, the V60 card is like a quarter of the price with the same performance in terms of clearing the buffer, going through high-speed shutter, writing to the memory card, reading off the images from the memory card back to your computer. You're not going to see any really, the differences are negligible. So save a boatload of money and get this one. And I vetted these brands. These are all very good brands. OWC, Next Storage, SanDisk, of course, and Sabrent. Very, very good brands at the best deal. Another brand I like is PNY, but they're not on sale right now. I can double check. PNY V60. Let's see. Here's the 128. Yeah, it's not really on sale. It's $45. Really, this needs to be closer. This is the one I've been buying, but I've been paying between $37 and $39. So you might as well get the Sabrent. The Sabrent's going to be just as good as this PNY. All right, so let me go back to the chat. I think I see Will answered. Sounds like a good option. I have an old cheapie from Best Buy. Oh yeah, the Sun Pack, right? Looking for something flexible that can be used in the field and studio. I want to buy once and cry once. Okay. So let me expand on my tripod list here a little bit, just to give you some options to think about, right? And why I have so many tripods on my list here, because every tripod's a little bit different. Of course, these are budget tripods. Each one's a little bit different. This one here for $30. There's a lot of tripods at this price point that are plastic. This is all metal for the most part. There's plastic bits here and there, but where it counts, it's all metal. But let me go back to this Photo Pro. This is a Photo Pro that I just bought. It's coming in next week. I went for the 8% cash back if I got delayed shipping. This tripod is ideal for doing panoramas. It's sort of a hybrid ball head and video fluid head in one. And it's smaller and more compact than the other one that I showed you from Photo Pro. So this is going to be more compact and even easier to carry, but it still has a relatively slim profile, not quite as slim as the other one. But the reason I got this is because I do a lot of panoramas, not just side to side, but multi-row panoramas. So this having an inverted ball head allows me to level it, and then having a separate rotating rotator axis, I can rotate this and maintain a level pan left to right. And then the fluid head allows me to tilt up without losing that level base. So I can tilt up and then do another row, tilt down, do another row, and I will get nearly perfect stitching with this particular tripod without losing any functionality of a ball head, because it is basically an inverted ball head. I can still tilt 90 degrees right, left, and everything kind of in between, right? I got full rotation. So this is effectively a dual purpose ball head, and it's Arca Swiss compatible. The only downside to this particular tripod or ball head configuration is, and I'll confirm this, but it doesn't look like there's any way to change the ball head. So for whatever reason, I don't want to use this ball head and I want to use something else, maybe lower profile for better center of gravity. I don't have that option. I don't anticipate ever needing to do that, but I like to explore the fine print and all of the things that you have to think about when you buy a tripod. Can I replace the ball head is a big one. I probably won't have to on this one because it does everything, but I'm just saying that looks like it could be an issue. It might be an issue for some people. All right, another tripod that I have is really good here. This is about more than $100 less. It's very similar to the one I just showed you. You should get the Photo Pro instead. But for everyone else listening, the first Photo Pro I showed you that was $240. That's probably the right one for you. But this one here is an excellent compact tripod. Has a very, very strong clamp, and it's extremely well made. Everything on this is metal and carbon fiber. There are no plastic bits anywhere. And I had this tripod for a while. I sold it to a friend of mine. But this also has an inverted ball head design. The only caveat to this is that it uses the Peak Design style clip. So if you're in the Peak Design world, this is perfect. If you need a standard Arca Swiss plate, and that's the main reason I sold it, is I like using like Arca Swiss plates already built into the base. I'm not able to use this camera on that tripod, or a lot of my cameras that have this. So that's the main reason I sold it, not because it wasn't a great tripod. It's just because of the form factor. It wasn't quite right for my use. The person I sold it to was all in on Peak Design. So they love it, right? Uh, this one, it also came with a separate plate so that I could put any ball head I wanted on it. So that's a nice touch. So I did put a regular ball head with a standard Arca Swiss plate on it. And I was able to use this tripod with this, but I had to buy a separate ball head. I bought like that $18 one I just showed you, or the $15 one I showed about 10 minutes ago. That's the ball head I bought, but with a different brand on it. And I paid like $25 for. But I did that with this ball head. But now I'm buying a separate ball head, and it doesn't make sense to do that, right? But I really like the form factor. It's very compact and very well made. And then let's see. The other route is something like this. This is an excellent set of sticks. There's no ball head, but these are very thick tubes. If you're a Micro Four Thirds shooter, you don't really need this. Okay, this is more for the DSLR full frame types. They got their D850, their Canon, R3s with the 600 f4, or if you're into hardcore astrophotography and you got huge lenses, that's where this comes in. But it is very sturdy, very compact, very well made. Now, let me expand on the Leo Photo and see if they have any deals. Because I know Leofoto makes a lot of great stuff. Let's see. I don't see. This one is really good. This is excellent. I wonder if you stack this 20% coupon. This is another way to go. The only thing is that this uses the twist locks. I used to be a big fan of twist locks because then my camera straps and pant legs and other things are not catching on the frickin' flip locks, right? But I'm starting to find the shims. There's plastic shims inside these, these legs. They crack and break and wear out. I've had it happen twice now, most recently, like last week. And that's kind of making me, and it's very hard. I think Leofoto sells the shims separately, but you need to find out if you can get the shims for this before you buy a twist lock tripod. But I do like this tripod a lot. Uh, so it's another 20% off. If I add this to the cart, let's see if I actually get 20% off. Let me go to my checkout page. And there's $63 in coupon savings. So yeah, you definitely, so take another 60 bucks off this. This is $260 for this tripod. This is a really good deal. So I would definitely, I'm going to add this to my deal page. This is another one to look at. The one from PhotoPro that I showed you had flip lock. Personally, I would prefer that one, but uh, this one, that tripod is very good though. This one from Leofoto at a really good price. And let me just check the ball head. Yeah, standard Arca Swiss, quick release. The ball head diameter, this has 32 millimeter tubes. I think the other one was 31.5. Anything over 30 millimeters is good in terms of thickness, is very stable, very strong. They don't say what the ball head is. But that looks like, Leofoto, you don't have to worry. It says LH40, so it's probably a 40 millimeter ball head. So it's a little bit smaller than 44, like on the other one. But this is more than stable enough, right? More than stable enough for most things. Let's see the other Leofoto tripods. This one is $279. Looks like it's the same one though. Why is this one? This is a 67-inch. The tube diameter is probably where the difference is. Yeah, this is a much smaller tripod. See the ball head? Oops. The the ball head is a 30 millimeter ball head. That's why this costs so much less. So I wouldn't get this. If you're only going to put small light things on it, you could go for that. But I think for a tripod, if you want maximum versatility, you want to definitely get a heavier tripod than lighter. But if you travel a lot, this tripod will be perfectly fine. Okay. Carbon fiber from Leofoto. Wow. See if they have a coupon for this. 20% coupon. This is a good deal. This has the flip locks. It just depends how quickly you can release. Yeah, it's a quick release. All right, this is a good monopod. I know I'm veering off from from tripods, but you can shop for days and still find new deals on Amazon, right? 20% off, so that's another $32. So we're talking about $128 for a carbon fiber monopod from Leaf Photo that you can convert into a tabletop tripod. That's a good deal. All right, one other thing. PhotoPro, Sirui. Okay, that's it. All right, let me check the chat section. So my only caveat with Ballhead is I like to shoot video too about, okay, so get the other PhotoPro I showed you. If this comment is like before I showed that other one, then you know what I'm talking about. That one that I'm talking about is perfect. Hybrid video photo tripod. And it's on sale for 160 bucks. It never goes on sale. I've been waiting months for that to go on sale, and now I finally bought it. I'll just pull it up one more time. This one here. You can see I just bought this July 8th for the deal. I've had this in my wish list for a long time. This is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. If you're talking about 60/40 video, you definitely want to get this one. And like I said, I bought it for not for video, but for panorama, doing multi-row panoramas. This is perfect. And Amazon delivered the Medialight F2 overnight per your recommendation. We'll try it on the EM5 Mark III. My PC needs CPI. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm getting mine in next week, I think. Let me check. Let me check my orders. Some stuff I had coming in late, and other stuff I had come in basically overnight. Oh, it's coming today. Mine's coming today. So if I track it, it is out for delivery. So I could be getting it during the live stream. Who knows? That's pretty cool. This is my Medialight arriving today. Okay. And Amazon, okay. Let's see. Any other chat that I'm missing? So I see a chat just came in from T Dot, but I can't pull it up. So you have the Leofoto V30R panning head. More stable than a ball head. Oh, okay, let's look at it. I'm always curious about, yeah, you guys always make great recommendations. Every time I do these streams, I learn a lot myself. Leofoto V30R. Oh, I have this in my list because this is weird. If it was on a Prime Day deal, this spider looking thing. It's not though. I'm just curious what that is. All right, so we might have to search for it this way. Oh, this guy. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about this myself. I think I have it on my other page. Uh, where's my tripod page? This one. I have this generic one. Yeah, I have it here. Oh, this is the V30N. So the V30N has got to be smaller because the max load is 33 pounds here. Let me see if I can find the V30R. Yeah, I don't see it. But when we search for it over here, V30, whoops, R, okay. Okay, it's on sale at B&H. Same capacity. This has the quick release clamp versus the one that I have on my page. Okay. That might be the difference is the one that I have on my page here, this is not a quick release clamp. This is the screw. You tighten it by hand. Whereas the R version has the quick release clamp here. I think the base is the same though. I think that's the only difference as far as I can tell. Because this is the V30H, uh, rotator with pivot. And so, it's out of stock though. So you probably have to go to, I would just get I don't think the quick release plate's quite worth the extra. Let's see if they have the VH30LN. They don't have the LN. What I'll do is I'll put a link to this if anyone's interested in this based on, you know, Dobbs' recommendation. I'll tell you something, Dobbs has never recommended one bad thing. Everything he's recommended has been top notch. Uh, but again, there's a difference, right, between what I usually share with you guys. I usually share with you budget options, but okay, this is the VH-30R. I think I misspelled it, but that's the link. So, and that's my affiliate link too, by the way, for B&H. Uh, the trick is when you get this head, the reason I didn't go with this. It's pricey, right? But and I was looking at some more affordable options. But if I want to do multi-row panos, I would still need to get a leveling base, unless my tripod had a leveling base built in. Some of them do. And I think this has a 60 millimeter base. So I would need to have a large tripod. I'd have to get out my freaking Manfrotto B Pro X, whatever. And that's a big, heavy ass tripod. That's all I can say. So that's why I went with the Photo Pro solution. It's very compact, lightweight. It's like 1.3 kilos for the whole setup, or 1.5, something like that for the whole setup. Has a leveling base, the fluid head, the rotator, all built in. It's inverted ball head, so it has full ball head functionality with carbon fiber legs, and it's very compact, and it'll be more than enough to hold uh, my OM3 with the 75 millimeter f1.8 lens, right? This is definitely overkill for my purposes. Because I don't know if they give the dimensions. Let me see. Yeah, 6 centimeters. So this has a 60 millimeter base. I assume at least a 60 millimeter base. So I would need to put this on a big tripod. And the weight, the head alone is 422 grams. I mean, that's a third the weight of the tripod I just bought, just for the head. And that's before I add a leveling base. So, anyway, I just wanted to kind of walk you through my rationale of why I didn't go this route. Because the Leaf Photo I forget the price. It was like $139 to get it without the quick release. But I had some generic ones I was going to get that are roughly the same size. Like this Wellian. This Wellian, I mean, it looks good enough for what I was going to do. But the problem is I would need to buy a leveling base like this, which is now sold out, of course. Here's another leveling base. But you see, this stuff starts to add up. You get the leveling base, maybe get a rotator, not this one. You get this indexer. Indexers are really nice to have. I have one, but I like this one. It's very low profile. This is the same ball head I showed you before, just that it has the newer brand. And it's $26 instead of $16. So it's $10 cheaper to get that green ball head that I showed you than getting it through this. But it's the same it's the same ball head. Okay. I'm going to do one more check on the chat. Yeah, the 26 terabyte is on sale. That's true. I was looking at that this morning myself. The only problem I have, what gives me pause, is made by Seagate. Every Seagate, with exception of one drive that I've had, failed. Every Western Digital drive that I have has worked. And I've bought 4 or 5 Seagates. All of them are dead except for one. And I've bought maybe a dozen Western Digitals. All of them are still working to my knowledge. So that's what gives me pause. Now, I know there's many people out there that can tell the same story, but switch the names. Every Western Digital they've ever bought has failed, and every Seagate they bought still works. I totally get that. But, I live in my bubble. People live in theirs. And this I know from a more pragmatic standpoint, if I'm not taking in my own personal experience, there's no reason not to buy this deal for $249. That's a steal. That really is. But I think I'm going to wait till Black Friday. I'm good on hard drive space for now. I've been managing my hard drive since last year exceptionally well by curating all my images and video and just deleting them when I don't need them. I'm not, I'm not keeping thousands or tens of thousands of images in each folder. Because I know my buddy David, man, that guy will sit there and have to call through 4,000 images, but he won't do it right away. He'll wait like a year later, then he'll start going through them. And next thing you know, you got terabytes of images that you got to delete. So I've been very proactive personally. So I'm going to wait till Black Friday. But thanks for reminding me about that. That's a good deal. All I can say is I'm getting a little pause. My experience has been better with Western Digital. But don't let that stop you. If you had good experience with Seagate, that's a great deal. Well, yours has the screw head, but not the lead. Oh, okay, that's weird. So I can't tell the difference between the N and an R then. Because it's using the same rotator part and pivot, it looks like. But maybe there's something I'm missing, but I can't see the difference. All right, let's end this with an unboxing, okay? So I've been loving my my Pentax monochrome. Pentax makes really I never I had a pen I had a Pentax for a long time, but I never used it. It's an old Pentax K10D. K10D. And I really like that camera, but then the mirror got out of alignment, and now all of my pictures are out of focus. So I went online and I looked for the firmware fixes. Like you can go into the firmware and adjust the focus, do a focus adjustment. That didn't work on mine. So I updated the firmware to 1.3 because I said in the updated firmware you don't need to. You can use the what do they call it? The tethering software and get to the focus adjustment. So I updated the firmware, and then now I can't find the tethering software for a camera that old. I'm gonna go into the forums and see if somebody has it. But because the only other solution is to take the bottom plate off and align the focusing yourself physically, right? With tiny screws. I'm not doing that for a camera that's worth like $5. Even though I like that camera, maybe I will, just as an experiment. But I was really looking for a firmware software solution where I can get into the service menu or get through the tethering program to adjust the focus. That K10D Pentax, fabulous camera, had the old CCD sensor, and the color science was tuned to mimic Kodak film, color film. And it really did make beautiful images. I love the colors out of it. But for the last few years, I haven't been able to use it because it won't focus. And it doesn't have a live view feature that I can just use live view for focusing. I'd be happy with that. But they didn't have live view functionality back in the day anyway. So this is my Pentax monochrome, which I love to death. So I went and I got a Pentax because now I got all the lenses for my monochrome, right? So I got me a Pentax K3 Mark I. This monochrome is the K3 Mark III. This is the K3 Mark I. Only 5,000 clicks on the shutter. I got it for 300 bucks, all in. Maybe 305 after everything, taxes, shipping, all that. I didn't care if it was silver or black. What I was worried about was the shutter count. I mean, if you can get a lower shutter count camera, why not, right? But there it is. The beautiful thing is it uses the same battery, I think. Yeah, same battery as my K3 Mark III. And it has a full card slot. Didn't expect that. Yeah, really nice. Comes right on. Top plate LCD. They came out with a K3 Mark II. It was the exact same camera, but they just added GPS and took away the pop-up flash. This has a pop-up flash. So I can use that diffuser I showed you earlier. Man, this is amazing. And it has a live view. Wow. And this is a little bit more compact than the Mark III. Just a little bit. The Mark III is a taller, bigger, thicker camera. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's try I can never find the dots. I got this lens for $144. The 17 to 50 f2.8 Sigma. It's a very well regarded lens. Oh yeah, perfect. Very nice. So I'm going to start posting images on my Flickr and Instagram from this camera. So check that out when you get a chance. I probably won't do a video about this camera, maybe. So I'll definitely talk about more in the live stream on Sunday. Uh, once I've had a chance to use it a little bit, because I'm going to use the heck out of it between now and Sunday. But okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If there's no other questions, I will end it here. Thank you so much for your support with the affiliate links, the memberships, the donations, subscribing, clicking like. I appreciate all of it. It's awesome, and it's why I keep coming back here, day after day, because I learn a lot during the streams as well with a lot of help from Dobbs today, and Marco. It was great seeing you today with the OM5 Mark II. Now you're giving me gas for that camera. You would think buying this camera I wouldn't have gas, right? But I can't help it. Now I want an OM5 Mark II. I should see what they'll give me in trade on that thing. At least see what I'll get on trade on my EM5 Mark III. Because this is definitely redundant, right? I don't need two EM5s or OM5s. But yeah, I love doing these streams with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back tomorrow for the photo editing stream. I may do another last minute deal stream, and then Sunday I'll be doing my photography stream. So you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and happy life and good health to everyone. I want to see you again soon. Thanks for joining me.